This computer. All right, we're recording, we're rolling. There we go. All right, beautiful. Hey guys, morning everybody. Morning, JC, Marge. How are you guys?
Good
Doing great.
morning,
Awesome, awesome.
all the way from Manila.
Yeah.
All right. So welcome guys, and welcome. We've got Winnie, Finel, Senri. I hope I'm saying that right. Senri. Apologies if I'm getting it wrong. Hopefully we'll have a few more people join in as well. So we've got the wonderful JC here this morning and Marge. Oh, just going to mute Finale there. Sorry, mate. Just going to mute you, mate. There's a bit of background noise coming off there. So, JC and Marge, we are going to talk this morning about VAs and scaling high level with a certified office-based team. So, first of all, I just want to just introduce you guys, JC and Marge. Now, JC, we've known each other for a bit of a while through the high level community. I guess if I was to introduce you, I would say that you're probably one of the most influential people in the high level community in the Philippines, if not the most, which is amazing for uh, someone as short stature as yourself to have such massive impact, if I can say that in the nicest possible way.
Thank you. No, I'm really honored for that introduction, really. I don't think I am, but hopefully, I am. And hopefully the entire team would actually be also one of the I would say one of the most influential in the community because more than myself, I want to bring everybody on, right? So
I think so, and I think so not only the Philippine community as well, but in the high level community broadly as well.
right.
Like,
Mhm.
they're getting very well recognized in there, which is awesome testament to the work that you've put in. And as a gold SaaSpreneur yourself, and also a certified Go level high level admin as well, which is pretty cool. And then Marge is the CEO of Telework PH. So Telework PH offering outsourced remote services from the Philippines specifically. So Marge is going to talk to us a lot about that today, about the like we'll talk about this like the hidden cost of cheap labor in the high level ecosystem because I know there's a lot of agencies out there. I've done it as well. We've all done it. We've gone down the route of Fiverr or getting a little job done here or there. But trying to get that done and scale our businesses, and a lot of people in this position where they're in startup mode, and we need to get things done. We need to outsource. We need to get projects or work or tasks done, but we've got to get them done correctly and reliably. And outsourcing to the right people is the way to go. It's not just outsourcing. It's like you need the right people and the right team and everything behind you. Um, so what you guys have done and are doing is building out those resources and teams in the Philippines, which is a great hub for outsourcing. I know many agency owners and people that I know who have their teams out there because of I guess the English language is one of the biggest things for the Philippines in terms of communication. Like English is a huge thing over there. So that really helps as well. But then getting the right team and managing them out there for the right deliverables and everything is very important. So, Marge, I think that you may have a little bit of an overview or something you're going to share with us today, and you can talk about telework and how you guys have built or building teams for outsourcers that are reliable for high-level agencies to help offload some of the chaos, so to speak, that as we grow, we all fall into. So,
Absolutely, Gary. Appreciate the introduction. And then, yeah, saying hello to everybody all the way from Manila. Really happy to be here and, really grateful to be sharing a little bit of a back journey of how we started and, the journey of really growing an agency. It's really a pain. It's an honor it's a badge that you wear as a business owner to like go through all the humps, but really what is it exactly that you needed to do in order to avoid the trials and errors? That's going to be a lot of value for today's discussion. So really quickly, let me share my screen here. Um, okay, can you all see my screen?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Guys, sorry, before you just go through much, if anyone's got any questions as you go, if you want to drop them in the chat as you go or pop your hand up, um, we'll answer questions or we'll have a bit of a Q&A at the end as well, if that's okay, Marge.
Yep, absolutely. You can interrupt me at any time. I'm very much happy to do so, so I can like drink a little bit of water. So, okay, let's get started. So, when I started Telework PH back in 2018, or earlier than that, I was already starting to work with freelancers, and project-based uh, contractors that and this is not to say that, this is a huge comparison between the two, but really when you start growing a business and when you talk to a lot of business owners, you realize that, the people that are in the scaling stage that were able to successfully grow their business have commonalities or have common experiences when it comes to working with, low paying freelancers. And I thought it was being smart, I thought it was because apparently it looked a bargain. But you realize along the way, it's one of those moments when you realize that, oh, if it's too good to be true, it probably comes with the costs, right? Who among here can relate to that? If it's too good to be true, it probably comes with a hidden costs that we truly do not understand. And as someone who has no experience before growing a business or starting a business, when I was younger, I was just working with my mom, running, we call it a sari-sari store. It's like a mini grocery store in the Philippines. So I barely know much about businesses or growing businesses. And so I was playing it by ear, and really working my way out. So what I realized along the way, hiring low freelancers, a lot of the tasks were half done or misunderstood. I had to review, fix, and re-explain constantly. I had some disappeared mid-project. I don't know if anyone here could relate to that. There's a lot of like
Uh,
ghosting moments. There's a lot of like, oh, what's going on here now? Can you tell me where we are at the moment? If you don't have a project management system in place, then it's probably, you're hitting you don't know exactly where you are in the process. And I became the backup plan every single time. And that's a pain for every business owner because what you're trying to get out of this is really results, right? You wanted to strike the goal, really go for the goal. But at the same time, you're also managing a team. You're also making sure that you're sane at least. You're functioning every single day, and also being able to provide for your family and be with your family. And at the back of your head, you know that you can do more, earn more, and help more clients. You know that you needed to delegate, you needed to outsource, but like how do I do it, right? How do I replicate myself? How exactly do I like get this SOP transferred over to some of the team members and be able to replicate themselves when they are ghosting me, when they are, the internet is out, or I just can't rely on these people. And there's only 24 hours in a day, right? So we try as much to like fit everything all together, being with our family and running the business, and there's still more to do, right? So anyone here could relate to all these with all the managing and and there's the people management element. And what I realized, this is why, I realize that there are clever ones who really get to understand what is it that ignites the fire, what is it that makes them move, and then focus on those things rather than doing everything like a jack of all trades, master of none, right? If they wanted to focus on marketing, if the strength is in sales, by all means, they get to focus on those strengths. The other part, which is service fulfillment or service delivery, is another monster as we speak. It's another monster that we need to deal with, and that includes people management, managing people's emotions because businesses are being run by people, right? what we're talking about, this is what we call opportunity cost. So what are you giving up by closing or by choosing the cheaper option? So a really quick introduction here. My name is Maj. I'm the outsourcing veteran with 13 years of experience in the outsourcing industry. I've been there, so really knowing what works and what doesn't. We've been multi-awarded and trusted in the outsourcing space in the Philippines, and we're starting to move outside of the Philippines to, of course, we want to reach markets. We want to reach more customers to help with outsourcing, and basically doing it right way. Even if you don't work to with telework, at least you have these, okay, what do I need to do exactly to ensure that we are doing it the right way. I wanted to be able to scale, not scale back, but scale up. So we have proven systems in place. We've been in operations for at least the past, say, 8 years. 6 years registered as a business, but we've been in operations for the past 8 years. Of course, I'm working with CC right now. So as you know, thank you, by the way, Gary, for that warm introduction. So yeah, she's the first gold SaaSpreneur, and in the high level space since 2018. And she is actively, training and coaching Filipinos to become certified admins for Go High Level. So we've got the expertise in the learning and development space. We also have the expertise in the product itself and how exactly we can help grow your business through outsourcing the right way. So really quickly about Telework PH, we are an award-winning service. We have ranked top 10 in the Philippines Growth Champions in 2024 by Inquirer, which is a well-known publication here in the Philippines, and Statista, which we already know as a research firm. We grew people from 1 to 1,200 team members in 6 years. This is done bootstrapped and homegrown, not venture funded. We've also aligned with ISO processes and Lean Six Sigma, which is heavily embedded in our culture and our operations to ensure that we're not really spending so much efforts and resources on duplicated tasks, and we are really being efficient and productive. We are 100% compliant with PH labor laws, the government, and other mandated services or benefits here in the Philippines. So the reason I'm putting that down here is because one of the things that was big on retention when it comes to talent in the Philippines is that by giving them the right benefits. And so it's worked for us for the past 8 years, 6 years. So we're continuing to double down on that, being able to just provide for these people, because if they're happy, they are happily working with you, they're gonna stay. There's 96% satisfaction rate across clients in North America, Europe, Australia, and Asia Pacific. Very happy to be flexing this. I just talked with our operations director, and we wanted to ensure that we're not just meeting the service level agreement or the SLA, but really exceeding that, because truth be told, the value in the market right now is really just really driving exceeding performance across the board, and we want to ensure that we're maintaining that. So we're really very regularly in contact with our clients, ensuring that we are delivering more than what they deserve. I personally am a champion of women empowerment and rural employment. And so our office is located outside of Metro Manila. And this is what I often get asked. Why are you moving outside of Metro Manila? Well, it's our first in Manila, Gary. I'm not sure if you have been in Manila. Have you?
No, I've never been there. No.
No, not yet. Gotcha. No problems. But traffic is really horrible.
I'm aware of that. I haven't even been there, but I know that.
I think it is for most metros, right? Even in outside of the Philippines. But yeah, number one, that costs a lot of time. When I was still working in Metro Manila, I do 2 hours back and forth. travel. And it's, that alone, if you're not very conscious or if you're not very aware or intentional about your time and how much you're getting paid hourly, it's going to be very, very costly for you. But yeah, that's one. Number two, we kind of unlocked the secret recipe to ensuring retention among the talents, and that is be giving them the ability to work with their families. So the mix is that yes, you get to work from home sometimes, which enables you to become more productive. As well, there is that controlled environment that you can go to at any time of the day. Say, I just wanted to be completely focused right now. My kids are screaming in the background. I just wanted a safe space for me. Like it happens for me all the time. Like I just want to get this done. I'm going to the office right now, and it's just right next to me. So the idea, because in the Philippines, most of the culture here is, we were really, growing up, we were really trying to like, okay, you have to go to the metro to find a decent job. And that's a sad reality because I, as someone who's grown from the suburbs or, in the provinces, I I thought there is really a difference when it comes to, the rights and how, the benefits or yeah, the rates basically when it comes to economy. But what we are giving is that you get the same rates when you're getting paid in Manila with the ability to work with your family. And we've proven that true because now, people would, if they wanted to leave, they could, but they are going to go back and realize, I wanted to stay here for the rest of my for the rest of my life. Yeah, it's true. They say that I wanted to stay here, be with my family. I guess the culture that's embedded in the Philippines is that we are family first. We hire people neurodiverse. I'm very much into the mental health space. And the reason I say this is because we want to have this inclusivity when it comes to our talents. You just will never know. A lot of these are, confined in their homes and with social anxiety, but then really perform really, really well. Okay, so but all these we didn't come and if I could just say we are a nine-figure agency in the Philippines. If you convert that to Australian dollars, we're an eight-figure agency, and we didn't come all the way to that success without starting here, right? So we started everybody working from home, everybody, have all these challenges. We called it. I love animals. Okay, I love pets. Just bear with me here on my presentation. But like these people or these animals become your enemy when it comes to your meetings when you're working from home. Because a lot of the conditions, the home conditions in the Philippines are really tight, and you walk a few steps from here, it becomes your bedroom, or you walk a few steps from here and then you go to the kitchen. And so if there's so many people in the room, then that becomes alone a distraction. And that, if you can hear, some motorcycles in the background, or if you can hear cats meowing in the background, I apologize for that because my pets are just with me right now. But it's become a problem for us when we were in our growth stage of the business. A lot of our clients can hear the calls, being recorded, and there's so much noise in the background. And when you call us, sometimes you be okay. I hear roosters in the background. Are you guys somewhere in you don't have any idea where you're calling, who you're talking with
I was
at
just
the
going to say,
time.
Marge, sorry for interrupting you, but yeah, the
No problem.
roosters in the background, I've had many staff in the Philippines over the years, and the roosters in the background were a staple. There was always going on. You could hear something. something, yeah, some cockerel going off in the background all the time. It was
all
like,
the
yeah,
time. Yeah, I
Or
I know.
dogs, right? I mean, for me, it's always the dogs. Always my dogs.
always, yeah, I always used to get the roosters. But in saying that, I used to get people would always say to me, and I couldn't even hear it because I was so used to it. I have a lot of trees around where I live, and they would always not complain, but they'd say, "Hey, God, the birds are really loud around you." So people would always hear the birds are in the trees around me, just like regular birds tweeting away. But yeah, the roosters, definitely the roosters in the Philippines. They're I like that. Target enemy number one for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just so glad that we now have technologies like CRISP in place just to ensure that there's that noise technology that we can deploy to our talents here. Stephen James mentioned I've been using Philippines since 2008 for outsourcing. Stephen, you're probably now a veteran when it comes to working with the teams here in the Philippines, huh? Mainly because of their culture. They are very honest and hardworking people. Oh yeah, you know what? We have a client come over to the office in to our office, and they were like, "Oh, you guys are working on a Friday night? I can't believe you." Because I know that in Australia, I know you can, oh, let's go for a drink, grab a drink. It's Friday, right? It's a yay. But we wanted to, I just don't know why we get this kind of culture where we wanted to stay with our co-workers even until the end of their shift. It's a bond that we create. I guess it's a culture thing, apart from just being able to extend connections or be with your friends, apart from what you call home. So yeah, thank you, Stephen, for sharing that. Um, so that's the very reason, Gary, I really just wanted to stay working from home. It's been a working model to be honest. And so I wanted to skip, all the capital expenses, but realizing that it's very important for our clients to really have that stability and, efficiency and productivity, then I realized it's a step that we must take to have an office space. I don't know why this one is so blurred, but yeah. Present, we now have a team all working from home. This is the pandemic era right here. As you can see, everybody's working on their masks. But right now, no, we're not wearing masks anymore. It's just a matter of if you are sick, then you must wear masks. So and then I realized by hiring the the low paying freelancers, we didn't need temporary savers. Initially, right, we wanted to just get this burden off of our back. That's the idea behind hiring, right? We're not okay. We're like, okay, I can't do this anymore. I think I needed help. And initially, what you're gonna go for is, where do I hire and who do I hire? How do I hire, right? As a business owner. And I mean, it's normal for anyone to go through that process. But I realized that when your mindset is about, oh, I just needed to get this done. I just needed, savior. I just needed to get this off my back, versus, oh, I'm very intentional about hiring because I wanted to grow. I wanted a very dependable team member. I wanted a very reliable assistant or virtual assistant. There is a mindset shift right there. And I realized that's not the previous mindset, that there is not saving us from all the drowning agency work. What we needed is a real support system that didn't break when people did. So what are the hidden costs of low cost freelancers? So a study from Harvard said that project delays and poor quality from freelancers led to 30% higher total costs compared to structured teams. So these are the hidden costs that we don't know about, and we probably have not anticipated because we probably are, how we business owners are. We're very we what we see in front of us is what makes logical sense, but then along the way you thread the journey, we realize that it's not as easy as it seems, and that's okay because we're doing, most of the we didn't learn this from school is what I'm saying. It's a lot of trial and error. And according to business.com, freelancers spend 18 to 25% of projects budgets fixing mistakes due to miscommunication and quality issues. And a lot of the experience that I've had in the past where, you know, okay, yeah, probably we were using a project management tool to ensure that things are getting done, but at the end of the day, we still need to follow up. Is this getting done? Is this getting done? Is this getting done? Okay, we know that there is a process in place. You need to ensure that you're sending out your end of day sort of like report, what have been done. Sure, but is your VA following through? Is your VA actually doing it? Because you'll have visibility on where we are at the task. But if the VA is not compliant, then it's going to be a really huge problem. That's what I've experienced in the past. That so much so that I realized we needed to ensure that one, we have the systems in place, and number two, how can we ensure that these people are compliant, right? Why does this matter? Because every time you're spending time reviewing, correcting, and chasing work, that is a lot of revenue wasted. Where could you have allocated that time and effort that will result in more productivity for you, in more money for you? So if you're spending more time managing people, then probably it's not a good idea. It's probably not a very well invested time, right? If you are the bottleneck and everything comes back to you, you are the backup plan, you can't scale. Another report from Freelancer Trends, 58% freelancers juggle multiple clients and 30% ghost clients after 1 to 3 months when better paying work appears. So it's another what do you call that? A greener pasture, right? So for anyone who, okay, well, I for example, Gary shouted at me, I don't want to work with him anymore. I'm jumping into another, it's a bad example, but it's like the reality, right? Any very slight miscommunication, misunderstanding could result in a turnover, and it's going to be very costly for you because you've already invested time and effort onboarding, training this person for you, only to find out that this person is working with multiple clients, and that's okay. I mean, at least when we understand the freelancing world, right? But when your deadlines, when tasks are getting behind, putting in the back burner, that's where the hidden costs reappear, and that's where it becomes a burden for any business owner. Agencies have more structured contracts and service level agreements that ensure continuity and accountability. So those are the keywords right there. Continuity. We want to ensure that if that person does not show up, if that person suddenly drops everything, somebody there is ready to pick it up. And picking it up, by that I mean not starting from scratch, but really starting from where they are, meaning highly trained. He or she knows what the VI, the former VI has done, then she or he can pick it up from there. So that's exactly what we have in place. The process that we have is that everybody's trained to do a single task, and everybody is aware, or at least the team leader, the account manager is very much aware where this VI or what this VI is doing for your business, so that if if push comes to shove or anything happens, then the account manager can pick it up from there and delegate to another VI. And this VI is also trained for anything. Like, for instance, if we're talking about Go HighLevel here, absolutely we can do it from there. Why does this matter? Every freelancer leave costs you onboarding time, training, and continuity, and agencies build in backup coverage so operations don't stall. We wanted to ensure that there's 99% uptime, and by uptime I don't mean just infrastructure or internet connection. It's uptime where if your VI does not show up for work, there's somebody else who's going to pick up the workload in a matter of 24 hours. So we want to ensure that there's continuity, especially for critical business process, especially if if you're in the middle of an e-commerce event or a huge event that you're running yourself, or a launch, a product launch, a marketing launch, that your VAs are there 100% to support you all the way. Oh, last, I think, no, it's not. Lack of systems and SOPs. PMI said that 47% of project failure is due to a lack of clearly defined processes. Most freelancers operate without SOPs, documentation, and QA checks. Everything is in the head. I mean, as business owners, when we started out, right, everything is in our head. I, for myself, hate documenting everything, but I realized that, you have to along the way. And I realized as well, when you're working with low-paying VIs, $5 an hour, they don't have that business mindset. They are pretty much operators, right? They're pretty much executioners of your task. Whatever you say, it's very much like, okay, chat GPT, tell me what to do this, tell me to, or execute this, execute that. It's pretty much that same thing. But, after that task is done, there's no SOP in place. And like, how do I replicate this if there's no SOP in place? It falls back to me again. And then I'll have to all go through crafting the SOP just so if I hire another team member, then he or she, hoping that he or she could probably take it on. Most agencies, on the other hand, they have internal SOPs, documentation, and escalation paths. Train the people in the system once, then replicate consistency. I think this is the key when you start working with someone who has been able to scale the business. They really know what it takes to really scale and be really wise about the use of resources. And so we want to also emulate the same thing with your business. So you don't have to spend so much on, starting from scratch and going all the way back and starting from the drawing board and really drafting all your SOPs and training your people. We don't want to be doing all those stuff. What you needed to do is just manage the results, not manage people. So you're not just paying for labor, you're paying for the execution with safeguards, insurances, guarantees. Cost of your time is one of the hidden costs as well, as CEOs and agencies owners spend 30 to 40% of their time managing freelancers per McKinsey's 2022 digital workforce report. If you are very much, like I said, if you're very much intentional about your time, where are you putting that, let's say 8 hours, if you're working 8 hours a day, where are you putting that 8 hours? Are you putting that into revenue generating activities and family time? Or are you spending more on managing your team or, payroll or anything that's in the back end? And this is why outsourcing is a very wise move, and it's been very visible for scaling agencies that that outsourcing helped them or enabled them to really scale their businesses because they focus on what they do best. And
I,
of course, yeah, go ahead, Gary.
I think just if you pop back one slide there, I think that so if your rate's $200 an hour and you spend 5 hours a week managing a $5 an hour VA, you're actually spending 225 a week. I think would that be 1,025 a week? Because you've got 5 times your 200 an hour plus
Oh yeah,
5 times the
1,025, right?
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, so it's really how you would be very wise about allocating your energy. And I know for us, a lot of us, there's just so much that we can do, especially when it comes to meetings, client meetings. That alone drains us, right? So we want to be able to be very smart about where we do spend our time
Yeah, but I think
on.
when you look at it like you've done there, but when you actually get that number and actually look at it that way and go, oh, that's a thousand
Right,
dollars a week it's costing me for this
right.
VA, then that makes a big difference.
Yeah, when you look at the numbers now, it makes more sense. Okay. Any questions so far?
No. Kartik says he'll take 225, the
Hmm,
225 per hour. He says the 225 per week rate. Yeah, mate, I'll pay you 225 a week,
okay.
Kartik. I know you. I'll pay you 225 a week, mate. No worries.
I
When do you want
know,
to when do you
I
want to
work for
start?
I work for free, mate, so don't worry.
right? And yeah, of course, we have the revenue impact of unreliable executions. Forrester research said that 68% of clients drop service providers due to inconsistent performance. And I mean, we all do that, right? When we're working with suppliers, when we're working with partners who are not delivering, obviously we're going to drop the service, that service. But when it comes um, to inconsistent performance, it's going to be definitely one of the things that we it's a non-negotiable when it comes to working with whether you're working with a freelancer or a service provider, because lost clients mean lost revenue, often far greater than the most monthly savings from hiring a cheaper freelancer. So he's a real world example right here. So the other, I showed you the math, right? So now we imagining here a one missed email follow-up that costs you a $3,000 month retainer. Was a $200 saving freelancer worth that? Because if you think about it, right, one mistake, one thing that he or she was not able to follow through, a missed opportunity, probably a missed call with a client because, I lost internet for some reason, that alone was a loss in revenue. And sometimes you have to take it on. What if you're in a graduation, or what if you're in a football game with your child or your kid? Then you have to step out and take the call, right? So it falls back again onto you. So we want you to scale and grow. That's period, like period. We want to help you grow your business, and that the business does not rely on you. Otherwise, you're going to be the bottleneck, right? So what's a better way? So I guess from here, I'm gonna stop really quickly. I think JC CC is gonna take on what is a better way for you to do this moving forward, and how can you avoid, things that would potentially scale you back from growing your business. So you say, CC, are you free now to take it on?
Yeah, I'm here. So let me share my, oh, okay. So yeah, you can just select next. Hi everybody. We're really, really excited to actually be here because more than anything, I think we also want to be able to share with you later on some SOPs that you can right away implement. But if it's not something that you're able to implement right away, obviously we want to be able to kind of provide you like a better way to be able to do that. So I think it's not really just it's not really just not to hire freelancers, but it's really being able to hire people that you can rely on. So I think who like I'm not sure if anyone here have read E-Myth, like the book E-Myth by Michael Gerber, that said that if your business runs without you for a single day, then you don't really have a business. Rather, you actually do have a job. Right. So the goal is being able to outsource most of the things that you're doing, specifically if you are an agency owner or a SaaS agency owner, is being able to make sure that you have a team that could potentially run literally without you on it almost single like almost every day, right? So you needed a system, not just a team, but also like an actual system that really works for you, which basically what Marge covered earlier is going to be your actual SOPs. So what we find to be one of our biggest challenge was when we were hiring freelancer before is, again, being able to not see what they're doing in the background, or if they're really working with multiple clients or whatnot. So what we did was, as a solution, we came up with a plan to eventually train more Filipinos to learn high level. And more than that, we actually put them into an office base. So on the next slide, you'd see that the thing that we did was we actually created the smarter model. So meaning to say, we started basically putting people in an office so that we can make sure that there's better reliability, culture, collaboration, and we co-manage them. Not just, we co-manage them with you as the actual business owner. So why this works, obviously, if the Jeff and myself normally kind of joke about it. So Jeff is our client director specialist. If your VA's computer broke down, we can easily replace it if they're in the office. And we have like a 24/7 IT support that can handle any issues in regards to their internet connection, or if there's no internet, we always make sure that there's a backup in place. So just like what Marge mentioned earlier, the goal is to be able for you to literally manage the outcome, and for us to manage the people. So on the next slide, you can see that, again, the goal is for you to be able to just literally manage not the business, but being able to manage, the funds that you get, the revenue that you get out of your business. So what we did was, so the actual plan, we trained our people, like pre-trained them on HighLevel. And more than that, more than being able to train them, is we actually let them get certified as HighLevel admin certified. We made sure that not just myself, because I've been in the business at least since 2019 using HighLevel specifically, and have served over 200 clients myself. And I think one thing that we would like to make sure is that everybody in the team do understand what we're doing, not just me understanding HighLevel, but everybody in the team. Actually, Marge also just scheduled her certification. So as together with Jeff, so all of
Yeah.
them are going to be certified soon. Hopefully, right?
Like,
So
we take this seriously. I couldn't sit I couldn't sit for so long in classrooms as well, but I wanted to ensure that I'm understanding this to the at least to the T, just so if anything comes up, I can also speak for our clients.
Mhm. Yeah. So the thing that we did, or what telework is actually be able to do later on, we actually now have pre-trained at least over 28 people, and currently in the road of certifying over 90 Filipinos for high-level certification. I think we have the biggest so far in the enterprise account with high-level, with the number of people that we're getting certified within this year. The goal is the first 100 Filipinos to get certified with high-level. So basically, what makes us a bit different from everybody is, if you click on next slide, Marge, is that we can provide you with fully co-managed VA. So you don't have to think about, oh, what if we delegate this task? So am I able to still talk to my VA, or am I still be able to have that VA adapt in my culture? Absolutely yes. That's because, again, it's the beauty of being able to co-manage. We handle the training, we handle the SOPs that can be implemented by your VA, but in terms of your culture, that obviously can be adopted by your VA. So it's still going to be dedicated, obviously. And then we have a stable infrastructure. Actually, we have over 1,300 employees right now in telework. And because most of our accounts are mainly in the financial side, actually, most of our clients are also from Australia. I think majority, we were able to put in place very strict security and compliance, all because of our financial accounts as well. And obviously, all of our VAs are pretty much pre-trained and certified high-level specialists, and they definitely make sure that we provide the best service out there. So currently, I think the next page is just going to show you the recent training that we did. So this is our entire high-level team right now that can basically implement any SaaS automations, or any automations inside of high-level. So this is our team. We conducted like an in-person training at least for almost 2 weeks with everybody, including high-level and also communication, because we're very big on communication as well, because at the end of the day, we want this VAs to be able to talk to your clients, onboard them with your agency. And then finally, if I think this is something that March also created, is that when you think about hiring, I think the biggest thing that you have to consider is, you know, not just the upfront cost, because obviously you can always hire somebody for $5, but be able to understand the other costs associated with it, like including consistency, you creating multiple systems and SOPs. The training burden is definitely on you. If you started hiring freelancer, unless otherwise that person is trained initially, the churn risk is definitely going to be high. With hiring an office co-based managed team, absolutely the upfront cost is a little bit higher than the ones hiring directly. But in terms of long-term investment, I'm sure that that's where you're going to see why this matters most, or why this is a better option for you. later on. So yeah, again, at the end of the day, you have to be able to ask yourself, like, are you still hiring help or are you actually building a real business? I think at the end of the day, you're going to be the one making a decision of whether you want to hire or if you're ready to hire. I think it's not just about knowing if you wanted to, but it's more than asking yourself whether you're ready to. Because I think hiring somebody is also a commitment. So it's not like you can pay $1,000 right now and it's done. It's actually being able to make sure that you're ready for it, because at the end of the day, you need to make sure that you have enough tasks and job that this person can actually take care, like can cover for you, right? And if you do want to scale or just survive another busy month, then obviously you can hire anyone on Fiverr or hire somebody that actually have been doing this for a while. So what would your business look like if your team actually owned the outcomes? I think again, this is something that you can ask later on or to reflect on. So yeah, I think this basically sums up like all of our presentation, but as a thank you gift, to the entire myCRMSIM group, you guys can actually scan this code. I actually prepared some free onboarding checklists. March, can I share my screen? So basically, what this is gonna do for you, like I said, we have supported multiple SaaS agencies as well in the past, and at the same time have set up hundreds of sub accounts. I created like a high level sub account checklist. So I think for somebody who's new in the business and you're basically just figuring things out, this checklist might help you in terms of what needs to be done inside of a sub account. This is gonna be your like initial checklist, right? So in short, okay, what are the things I needed to set up in a sub account? So for example, user permissions, you being able to add an admin or user, set roles, add business business information, logo, like linking your domain, etc. This is a ready to duplicate, Notion checklist. So you either can duplicate it and share it with your client. So you can just later on just tell them, okay, these are everything that we would need to get done inside of your sub account. So basically, I shared with you two checklists. So you know that, okay, you have ones that's more segmented into different parts of HighLevel. And then the other one is just mainly an entire checklist. So you can just put a check mark on it and then add the date as to when it's completed. So you can kind of show your client, in the progress of your current setup. So I think it's really going to be helpful to anyone who's basically setting up sub accounts for their clients. So a little checklist to make sure that you're getting things done inside of a sub account, especially if it's new. Yeah. So hopefully you can find this really helpful.
Yeah, people will love that. We have one that I've given away many times in the HighLevel group, which is basically just a Google Doc, and people love it. So I'm sure people should definitely snap that up because that looks more up to date than the one that we've had for a while anyway. So definitely grab that, guys and girls.
Yeah, so I think it's pretty simple to use. That's because you just have to duplicate and share it with your client later on. So it's like you can show them the progress when it's completed, and at the same time, you're on the same page in terms of the task that needs to be completed on a sub account. So yeah, thank you, Gary. I mean, Marsh and I are really really excited to see you tomorrow. Oh well, not tomorrow because yeah,
Yeah,
See
it's
me
uh,
Sunday.
yeah.
Sunday,
Sunday.
yeah,
Yeah.
Sunday, exactly. And hopefully see other people who are on this call right now. I'm not sure if some of them are actually attending the SaaSpreneur, but yeah, we're gonna
Perfect.
see
Yeah.
everybody on Sunday.
I know Kartik's coming. Kartik, who's on this call here. I'm not sure if there's anyone
I
else
think
on.
he is. He said he
Yeah,
is.
it
See you
says
on
see you
Sunday.
Sunday.
Yep,
I'll be
Kartik.
there. Yep.
There you go. Kartik's
Oh,
coming.
looking forward to meeting you.
Yeah, likewise. Yeah.
So if anyone's on here who doesn't know, there's the SaaSpreneur event, the first official one by HighLevel happening. Registration's on Sunday in Australia, running through Monday, Tuesday. So that should be a lot of fun. We're going to go and have a bit of a high level jolly for a couple of days, which will be good. And get to meet up with everyone because we all do all this stuff online and webinars, and we have little communities and groups and talking to each other and sharing tips. And it's always just really nice to make those connections in face to face as well. So that's going to be pretty awesome this week, I think. There's a lot of people coming in too. So you guys flying in from the Philippines, which is awesome. There's people from the States, Dubai, UK. Kartik, I think you're coming from as far away as Canberra, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, I live in Sydney,
Oh,
but
you live in Sydney.
I'll
Okay.
be coming from all the way
Is
from
it
Blacktown. Yes, so it's a
Oh,
long way.
man, that is a long way. That's a long
is
way.
it really cold in there?
It
I
is
have
at the
rain.
moment, comparatively to what it is usually in Sydney, but yeah, it'll be much colder for you guys, no doubt, coming from the Philippines.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
So
gonna be fresh,
I think
guys.
we really need to prepare ourselves with the cold weather because, like it's very hot in the Philippines.
It is. It is.
And
I'm literally sweating right now.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I live
So,
up north. I'm like 1,000 k's north of Sydney, and it's a lot warmer up where I live than it is. So even for me, it's going to be cold coming down. But we've got a few minutes left anyway. So obviously, Sydney, that's going to be awesome. We'll see you guys there. Obviously, for anyone else who's on and still on the call at the moment, thank you so much for sharing all that. Does anyone have any other particular questions, or you want to pick you guys' brains about the best ways to hire a VA, what risks are? I mean, we've covered a lot of stuff in that presentation there, Marge. I think you did go through a lot of things, but we've talked about like the risks of hiring VAs or them ghosting you, or how to make sure that you really vet and train VAs. Anyone got any particular questions you want to drop in the chat or put your hand up? We can answer questions while you've got Marge and Jaycee here. Or maybe you just covered everything as you went. Let's see if anyone's...
Well, it also helps. I have we can also send this over to you once you sign up to the link. Let me see if it's being shared right now. There you go. So it's sort of like a scorecard for you, just to assess your business where you are, where you are at the moment. Apart from really understanding your cash flow and really see if you're ready to scale, ready to grow with hiring team members, what are the decisions you need to ensure that understanding if this is going to be okay. I'm going to hire a freelance for now, or a $5 VA for now, or really someone who is determined to grow my business. So this is one of the checklists that I have prepared for you. So if you can go through some sort of this decision scorecard, and it will tell you where you are exactly as far as the status of your business. So happy to share this to anyone. Actually, I can drop it in the call right now if that's become if
Yeah,
that
if you don't mind dropping the link, and then we can put that, because we'll put this replay up into our
okay.
Facebook community on our end as well, and also on our YouTube channel. So yeah, if you want to drop it in there, that would be awesome. Because I think that's a really good thing, because you did say that earlier when we were talking through. Sorry, I think it was JC was saying that when you were doing your part about the commitment of hiring, and it is a serious thing. There is a big difference between saying, oh, I'm a one-man band or one-woman band, so to speak, and I've got some things that I need to get done that I either can't do or I don't have time to do. So, I'm going to hire someone as just to do these tasks for me for now, which is a different place in your business to, okay, I'm at a point now where I've got too much to do, or, I'm about to scale. I can see I'm missing opportunities over here because I'm too busy doing here, and you have to take that step to hire someone full time at a point. And that is a commitment, because you shouldn't do that lightly as well, because you're going to invest time and energy in, even if you're using a service like you guys do, and there's training and onboarding, and those people are coming to you sort of semi-hired, semi trained, so to speak. They might be trained in high level and technical ability, all those kind of things. But there is always a transfer of knowledge if you're hiring someone. It doesn't matter, even if they've come in from another company and they've been working there doing high level and building workflows and automations and all those things, and technically they know how to do it. There's always going to be training and your way of doing things, and also your way of working with people that they're going to have to come on and learn and build. You have to build a relationship with your staff as well.
That's
And
true.
that
That's
doesn't
true.
happen overnight, no matter how technically skilled they are. So I think people really should think about that and consider that, you want to bring someone on, bring them on for the long term, and you don't want to hire people and then just fire them, because you go, oh, we've run out of work, because that's bad for them too. Like, nobody
That's true.
wants to be hired into a job and go, hey, great, now I've got my full-time role. They might have invested their time and energy as well into getting trained and getting their high-level certifications, and they're actually investing their time to get a full-time role, which is a great thing for them. And then suddenly they get it and they think, great, this is it. I'm set. they're relying on their income to pay for their family, and then suddenly you just go, oh, sorry, I don't have any work for you anymore. That's not great for them either. So I think it's a serious commitment, and I think you guys kind of highlighted that, but I just want to make sure that people do figure that journey out as they go through as well. It's not something to just
Yeah.
jump in and out of, because you're going to waste your time and other people's.
Totally agree. I mean, we're speaking about 10 or more people in the team as your agency grows, right? There's so much liabilities in there as well. And so you want to take that off of your business by, not really paying, because paying salaries is a fixed wage, it's a fixed cost on your business. So, it's really tough to like just slash that out of your list of expenses. And so we want to take that on to ensure that there's still continuity. And of course, we want to ensure that you're not so much, this does not, there isn't so much of a liability from your business.
Yeah, I've always hired people when I bring them on and say, hey, I'm hiring you. I want to know that you're going to be staying with me for at least 1 to 2 years. Like this should be your role for at least the next couple of years. Like I've got two of my team on here now, Carlos and Camilla. And Carlos has been with me now for about a year and a half, I think.
Wow.
And
Oh.
when he started, I was like, Carlos, if you take this job, you commit to me that you're staying with me for at least 2 years. So it's been here for a year and a half. You better stay for another two, Carlos. Right, we're extending that now. You're not allowed to leave. Camilla's just started, but we said the same thing when she started. It's like, okay, this is a role that you're taking on, and we expect that there's going to be certain things that you can do, but certain things that you won't be able to do at the moment because you just don't know how, and you have to fit into some of the things that we've done before and understand the way that we work and operate. So, we also work from a point of
Amazing team you got there, Gary.
Oh, I'm so lucky, honestly. Like the guys are great, and this is just two of my team here. We've got a whole technical team as well. Um, yeah, I'm so lucky with them. But I also try and take the position as the business owner. It's like, okay, you guys are doing stuff that I actually don't necessarily know how to do. This is what I want to happen at the end. Can you guys go and figure it out? And sometimes I have to remember as well. It's like if I went to figure this out, I can look at things and go, if I go and figure this out, I reckon I could probably get this done in an hour or 2 hours. Sometimes it goes over to the team, and I'm not saying this about Carlos or Camilla on here particularly, but it will go over to someone else, and it takes them a day to figure out and come back to me. But it's like, okay, but that day it was an hour that I didn't have to spend, and someone else took care of it, and now they know how to do it in the future as well anyway. So I never have to even think about that again. So you have to allow your team the time to breathe into a task sometimes, because you can get frustrated. And I've been guilty of this before. I will absolutely admit I've been guilty of this before when I started hiring people. And it's like, Jesus Christ, why isn't this done? It's been, I gave you this and it should have been done in an hour. I could have got this done in an hour, and it's not done in an hour because they didn't know and they don't think the same way as you. Sometimes you just have to kind of breathe out of it and just go, all right, it's getting done. And they'll know how to do it in the future. So that's part
That's
of
so
what you
true.
need to do as well. All right.
All
Okay,
right.
guys. Well, thank you so much. If you've got that, sorry, did you put that link in the
So it's
chat
going to be the
there?
same. Yes, it's going to be the same QR code. We are going to send it over to you. So
Are
if
you
you
able
scan,
to drop the links in the chat? Because then I can put the links with
yeah,
the
easy.
recording.
Yeah, the link.
Because people can scan the QR code, but it'd be great if we can put the
Sure.
links in
Yeah.
the descriptions as well. So then people can just click on them if they're on there. Because some people watch these on their phones anyway, and then you can't scan the QR code because you're on your phone. If you don't mind
Yeah.
dropping the links in the chat there, that would be awesome. We'll pop those in there.
All right. Well, we appreciate you, Gary, for having us. Hope we can we can actually do more. We really appreciate the help and allowing us to be part of the group. So thank you so much for for really having us here. So thank you.
No, thank you, Jaycee. You've been
Thanks
great.
everybody for your time.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Have a good day. Have a good morning, everyone. Bye.
Bye.